Hello and welcome to Contra Mundum. My name is Susanna Eileen Martin. I am your host. Welcome to the show in my home, not my apartment home. I'm here over spring break. This is my friend AJ Bafetti, and the purpose of the show is that anyone is an expert about something. So AJ, what is your expertise?
I have really good knowledge about technology in several different fields, including vehicles and cell phones.
Great,
and
awesome.
Electronics.
Cool. Okay, so first question. Are you an Apple man or an Android man?
Well, I have used both operating systems before, but I'm more in preference for Android, since Android allows customizations to happen on a higher level than an Apple device. As much as iOS is starting to get there since the eighth generation of iOS, Android had always been there for customizations where you can like change just about anything from like how you want to have your writing to what home system do you want to use for your cell phone.
So for you, customization is the biggest thing. That's the biggest help
Yep.
for what you decide you want to do.
That is always the biggest thing for Android.
Okay, cool. So what would be your favorite app, do you think?
I pretty much just YouTube in general.
YouTube? Yeah, YouTube's good. Okay, so before we move on, what is your YouTube handle? You said you have a YouTube.
Oh yes, I do have a YouTube account. My username is 2179AJ, and I had done some video projects that are on there right now.
So that's 2179 AJ.
2179AJ.
Awesome, cool. All right, cool. Let's see, what else can we talk about? What do you think is the biggest difference between Apple and Android?
Well, Apple has been more of a closed source operating system, and iOS came into play from 2007 with the launch of the iPhone. And since it's a closed system, the best advantage that iPhones can get is instant updates when you have the most in recent products. And they will stay updated to, I would say, at least around 5 years. It really depends on your device. But when it comes to iOS, it's either going to be you have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod Touch. And they do sell those still to this day for iPod Touches.
You still have iPod Touches?
Yep.
I had no idea. What phone do you have right now?
Right now, I do have a weird type of phone I got from the Amazon market. What I have is the Blue Lifeline X. It's supposed to be a competitor with the Motorola Moto G, which is pretty much in the same specs with one or two differences. However, it is affordable, and I got this for $150 from Amazon as an unlocked device. And when it comes to like having an unlocked device, if you have like a GSM, then it's T-Mobile or AT&T friendly.
Oh, that's useful. Okay, so is that an Android device or is it something else?
It is a Android device. In
Okay.
fact, this is actually a pure Android with the modifications for using Nova Launcher, where I can mess around with the display, where I kind of display the last Google logo before they went into this soft writing that they have today for their webpage.
Yeah. What do you think, like, if you weren't going to get an Android or an iPhone, an iPod or iPhone, whatever, is there any alternative, do you think?
Well, if we're going to single out both, we're kind of singling out a majority market when it comes to like cell phones, but there is like a few alternatives. The third place competitive between the two has to be a Windows phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine, but it's not as great as an operating system.
It's the App Store, right? It doesn't have much of an App Store. That's the difference?
Yeah, it doesn't have really much of an app store, but if you're like getting it for like basic usage with maybe a little bit of an advantage, say like Facebook, then it might not be an issue. But it really depends on the individual, especially for its weird operating system where it's more vertical scrolling.
Mm-hmm. So what do you mean by vertical scrolling?
Usually if you want for your display, like usually scroll from up to down to find your applications, and you can like resize the tiles.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. And so you would normally do horizontal for any other operating system?
Horizontal for just the majority, unless you reprogram your Android to work as that.
Okay. So what is your next phone, do you think you're going to get?
Well, I've been looking into a device for quite a while. It's been out for a year, and the next device I'm going to be looking into is Nextbit Robin.
A next bit Robin? Is
Yep,
that what it's called?
a
Okay.
Nextbit Robin.
Next bit Robin. Okay.
It's pretty much like a mid-range phone with the same abilities as the Nexus 5X.
Okay.
However, this is a really special project I've been following. So, what's so special about Nextbit is a bunch of Google and Motorola employees that kind of splinter off to work as like a small company that's Kickstart funded. And last year, they managed to accumulate enough money to create this type of phone where, although it comes with 32 gigabytes of internal memory, but it has 100 gigabytes of cloud storage. And it's not just for media files. You can also transfer app information to the cloud, where it's just going to freeze over the apps. And when you click on your apps, it will come back to your phone and restore the data it had previously there. It's supposed to be the next answer to smartphones, where we haven't seen a change in the market for quite a while, with only just beefing up the specs. Whereas Nextbit, they managed to make a major change. And also their design is pretty nice as well for trying to do mint colored phones.
Mint colored.
Yep,
Okay.
is that black and white or gold or whatever
So
Apple is doing?
how many gigs does that have?
It only has 32 gigabytes of memory for onboard the device. However, it has 100 gigabytes of cloud storage, where if you connect up to Wi-Fi or any cellular network, you're able to transfer the information for any application or
Wow.
media over to the cloud. And when you ever want that information to come back to your phone, all you have to do is do a simple tap and it will
Dang.
come back.
So 100 gigs, that's pretty nice. Like my tablet has like 8, and it is way too little. Like I had to delete Facebook just so I could get like an app or two.
Well,
I mean, it's helpful because I was quitting Facebook at the time, but it's still like I would like to be able to do other things on my phone other than like the 4 apps that I'm able to support.
Facebook is definitely a hog when it comes to that. And
Yeah.
they, to this day, they cannot offer Facebook Lite on the Google Play Store or Amazon App Store either.
There's a Facebook Lite? What is that?
For iOS devices, if you want like a lighter version of Facebook where you just pretty much get the basics without doing all the fancy play the videos while you're scrolling and not include messenger notifications, it takes up less memory on a device and it's available for the App Store.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it saves you storage.
That's pretty nice.
It just caters to people with iPhones because they don't have the ability to expand their memory with an SD card. Or
Yeah, that's one of the things you were talking about, you can't like adjust an iPhone or enhance it in any way. That's one of those things that it's have you ever thought about there was a thing going around that was supposed to be like a smartphone, but it was like modular, like you could pull out pieces of it. Have you seen that?
yes, I've read about this project before since 2014. The project was called Project Aura, and it was a project done by Google a while ago, with taking the ideas from phone blocks as credited as the source to start this revolution in phones. The goal of the project was to create these little module pieces while having like a motherboard where say like if something gets outdated or if you just happen to break your screen, not a problem. You could pay like maybe $50 or $100 to like replace one module piece and your phone will be intact. It's like the goal is to have one phone to carry out for as long as you want it.
And you could just replace the pieces. That's pretty nice. I like that because it allows you to like maybe you don't want like a ton of pictures or something on your phone, so you get like a little less memory or something. You don't need that much. Or maybe you want like a really nice camera. If you can just replace and put a nice camera on there, that'd be really cool.
Yes, there actually been like a Nikon example of a module where if you don't like the standard, you can go for like a Nikon upgraded where they have their own technology and you'll get better quality images.
Oh, that's cool.
This project was really good. However, it did came into a few problems over the timeline. Now, I don't have like the very specific days of the events that happened, but like at the point, from what I understand, they managed to get the system running, but it kind of was too dependent on on a computer for the prototype, and they weren't able to get the modules to run by themselves, especially with using rare earth magnets. Like that's what they were going to use, because they had issues with like with connecting up the pieces, and also keeping them to stay in place. With earth magnets have no issues with that, but it's like how to get the system running. There's been a lot of issues when it came to that for like around mid 2014, and if you were following Project Aura, it kind of just went silent and just kept being silent. Like the last time I heard,
so they just like ghosted out.
Yep, it was pretty much ghosted out. And last time I heard, I think they ended the project around late 2016. But
that's
like
too bad.
Before that, like they said they were going to do something about presenting the prototype in Puerto Rico, but I didn't find any articles about that topic.
Rico? Okay, that's interesting.
But as a result of this project, we did get 2 different phone models that take inspiration from the module pieces.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
There's 2 models. The LG G5, where pretty much is just a premium phone that they have, except the bottom chin part is removable, and same with the battery, and you can like change it up with having a speaker and an extra battery, or even a better camera, and it's like all right. However, LG didn't continue too much with the program, and they're kind of disbanding the idea to go back to what they were doing with beefing up specs for LG G6. However, Motorola, under the leadership of Lenovo, since Motorola was bought out by them, they managed to make the Moto Z, where it's pretty much the really good example of using modular pieces. And there's like 4 different accessories you can get with the Moto Z. You can either get like a little projector that you can use to connect to the bottom of the phone and display whatever you want on the wall. You can get like a JBL speaker for increasing your music. You could get you can increase the camera. I forgot the name of that piece, but I think it was for increasing the camera and also increase the battery life as well.
That'd be really nice, because like I have my little let me see if I can dig it out of my pocket. I have like my little crap phone, my sad little Verizon LG something or other. And like this thing lasts for ages. Like it will last, if I don't use it very often, and I don't, it'll last a good week or more. I mean, if I use it every day, it'll last like 3 days or something. But my stupid tablet, even if I don't use it very often, will last like a day, maybe 2 if I really don't use it very often. But that would be one thing that'd be really helpful, is if they can get something that will increase the battery life. That would be really nice. Have you seen anything lately that looks like it'll be like an increase in the battery life?
Well, the one thing for sure is like battery packs is like the rave now, and like a lot of people carry them around. It's either I'm gonna see people carry battery packs or just like carry their charging cables and ask me where's the nearest outlets.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of annoying.
There's been like a few items that were interesting on Amazon. Like I actually got myself a 10,000 milliamp battery pack, but it has solar charging capabilities, which is kind of cool. So if I go on a road trip, say maybe from like Hampton Roads, Virginia to Washington, D.C., and if I need to keep my phone running while using Google Maps, then I could just hook up that battery on top of my car, and then I still get a lot of energy for an entire day.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I've seen some people that have like the little like tube-shaped little doodads that they just plug in their phone to. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wish, honestly, I looked this up one time because I wanted to see if I could find one for my laptop, because I like to go outside and like write or whatever, but my laptop lasts less than my tablet or anything else. It'll last like a good maybe 2 hours if I'm lucky, but those are super expensive. Like a laptop charging extra, like a charging thing, are really incredibly expensive, and they only give you like another hour or so of power, and it's not really worth it. So if you could have like any phone in the world, what do you think you would do?
Like what phone would I like, or what will be the perfect Android phone?
No, I mean like any phone, like Apple, Android, some unknown thing that people don't really know about. What would be your dream phone, I guess?
Well, I pretty much have to say is the modular phone where I can like switch out pieces and keep the phone up to date without worrying too much on like buying another phone. And this is what I like too out of like what Phone Blocks did back a few years ago. Is like they managed to bring attention to try to set up this new market so people can upgrade their phones without buying a new phone every time. Because other than like phones are really expensive, it's just they don't last too long. And like if we're looking at the idea for the marketing, because like usually if someone's gonna get like an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy phone, people are gonna like burn out within a year because like cell phone companies keep making new devices.
And they're just not made to last. That's kind of part of the problem.
Yeah, that is kind of true for that. Well, I mean, you can like keep a phone as long as you want it, but like the new ones were gonna upgrade in specs. But it's more of, do you really need to upgrade now for this specific spec, even if it's just like one tiny difference?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's okay, maybe my phone is has a slightly better camera on it, but do I have to buy an entire new phone? It's kind of a pain. It'd be nice if you could just, hey, I want a better one. Let's pop out this camera part and stick in this little camera, and oh, look, I've got a better one without buying an entirely new phone. But they would have to like actually create phones that would last for a couple of years. Because like most phones these days, like if you drop them, they're dead, which is kind of pathetic.
That's because people don't buy cases for their little iPhones.
Yeah, my sister just got her iPhone, and she's, or not an iPhone, but a smartphone, and she's super excited about it. But she just like dropped it on the floor. Like the first moment I saw her, she's like, boing! And I'm like, wow. She's like, nope, this is why I have an OtterBox, because I'm clumsy. Well, she's not as clumsy as I am, but she's clumsy enough to drop her phone a lot. You don't really have any case on that one, do you?
Well, it's kind of a weird case, to be honest. Like the Life 1X for the first generation, like Blue included, and with Blue Products, they're a small company out of Miami. They do good phones. I mean, it's like a pro-con for like, especially for like the software, but they're pretty nice if you're looking for like a cheap Android phone. Now the Life 1X, this is the first generation for it, and the Life 1X came with like this special case. Usually they come with just like a silicone case that's just clear, but with the exception of the Life 1X, they came with a flip case, where it's pretty much like a smart case where I can where I just see the time, but I can also control music. So it's kind of like a hybrid case, but it offers like a nice leather coverage and protects the display too from whatever I put in my pockets.
All right, that's pretty nice. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I'm not sure how you would use do you just poke the screen to make it start up?
Oh yes, like you swipe left, but like I wouldn't hit the play button. Just because I'm not really sure
what. Be kind of loud or something.
It'll be kind of random, like.
Yeah. All right, I see how it works. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it'll be kind of random, like a ringtone or.
Yeah.
Or a song. I have
no idea.
Who
let the dogs out? No, I don't need that on my show.
That would be too cringy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cringy. It would be pretty cringy if you had Who Let the Dogs Out on your phone anyways. But so is there anything else about technology you would want to talk about? Is there any new cool stuff coming out lately, do you know about?
There's like a lot to talk about with technology, but I think I'll keep the podcast going forever if I want to go into like any single detail.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's about it for this podcast. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, AJ, for being here. You'll come back again sometime?
Probably will.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I think next time we'll talk about like movies or something. He's a big fan of movies like I am. Until next time, thank you guys for joining us. This is Contra Mundum. I'm your host, Susanna Eileen Martin. This is AJ Bafetti. Tell them where you can find you again.
I do have a Facebook account, and I also have a YouTube account. My YouTube account is 2179AJ.
AJ, 2179AJ. Thank you all, and I will see you next week.